Hello friends. Now we will start with the fifth module, regression and correlation. The objectives of this module are, after going through this module, you will be able to understand regression analysis and its assumptions, discuss the various regression analysis models, explain regression lines, analyze the properties of regression coefficient, find regression coefficient and correlation coefficient from lines of regression. Correlation. The correlation is a statistical technique which studies the relationship between two or more variables, and correlation analysis involves various methods and techniques used for studying and measuring the extent of the relationship between the two variables. When two variables are related in such a way that a change in the value of one is accompanied either by a direct change or by an inverse change in the values of the other, the two variables are said to be correlated. Correlation, when the relationship is of a quantitative nature, the appropriate statistical tool for discovering and measuring the relationship and expressing it in a brief formula is known as correlation coding. Correlation is an analysis of the covariation between two or more variables. Carl Pearson's coefficient correlation. Carl Pearson method is popularly known as Pearson coefficient of correlation. It is most widely applied in practice to measure correlation. The Pearson coefficient of correlation is represented by the symbol small r. Properties of coefficient of correlation. The coefficient of correlation is independent of change of scale and origin of the variable x and y. The coefficient of correlation is the geometric MCA to regression coefficient. Merits and demerits of Pearson's coefficient correlation. The merits are, it is most popular method. The correlation of coefficient summarizes in one figure the degree and direction of correlation. The demerits are, it always assumes a linear relationship between the variables. In fact, the assumption may be wrong. It is not easy to interpret the significance of correlation coefficient. The method is time consuming and affected by the extreme items. Spearman's rank correlation. The Spearman's rank correlation coefficient is a non-parametric statistical measure used to study the strength of association between the two ranked variables. This method is applied to the ordinal set of numbers which can be arranged in order, that is one after the other, so that ranks can be given to each. Spearman's properties are, first property is that the values of Spearman correlation coefficient will always vary between -1 to 1 and 1. When the value of the coefficient is 1, there is a perfect positive correlation or direct correlation. The second property of the Spearman rank correlation and of its parametric counterpart is that it is a pure number without units or dimensions. Merits and demerits of Spearman's. Merits are, this method can be used to measure degree of association between qualitative data. This method is very simple and easily understandable. It can be used when actual data is given or when only the ranks of the data are given. So demerits are, it cannot calculate the ranks coefficient for discrete or grouped frequency distribution. When large number of observations are given, the calculation is tedious. Regression analysis is used to predict a continuous dependent variable. from a number of independent variables. The independent variables used in regression can be either continuous or dichotomous. Independent variables with more than 2 levels can also be used in regression analysis. But they must first be converted into variables that have only 2 levels. So in this way, the fifth topic, that is correlation and regression, will be discussed in detail. Thank you.